So it occurred to me recently that there's really a simple yet burning question which lies at the heart of a very tender yoga practice. And the question is this: how do I learn to love myself? How do I learn to love my messy, unruly, chaotic, imperfect self? And so I've spent many moons, I'm sure many of us have, maybe all of us have spent a lot of time navigating a relationship to ourself where we're avoiding or running away from the aspects of our life where we feel we call them the shadow sides, right? Those ugly aspects of ourself. The parts that we feel are maybe not worthy of being loved. And then the flip side of that, of course, is that we ruthlessly chase the circumstances where we feel quite light and lifted, celebrated, acknowledged, the instances where we're getting our desires met and where we feel lovable. Right? We would call that our preferences. And the truth, or what we've come to find in a practice, is that no matter how preferential your current state is, that ultimately you will be met with these long, still moments where you're alone. And where you feel what Pema Chodron, she wrote, When Things Fall Apart, she calls it the genuine heart of sadness. She says, this wounded, softened heart, it's our birthright. It's like a family heirloom. And so the objective of a stillness or contemplative practice is just to welcome in and accept all instantaneous moments of ourselves. So welcoming in suffering just as warmly as we might welcome in celebration. And so we set a place at our table for each emotion. We sit them right next to one another. They can pass the quinoa back and forth. It's like the great Rumi poem, this being human a guest house. Every moment a new arrival, even if it's a crowd of sorrows, we greet them honorably. They are guides from the beyond. So we'll see what we might uncover about ourselves tonight. We may start to untangle those truths that allow us to love a little more deeply, a little more indiscriminately, and to see a little bit more clearly. So the last thing I'll say before we take a shape together is, if you're here tonight because you're just trying to weather the storm this week, then know that you're not alone, and know that all of the great wisdom traditions suggest the same procedure, which is to head straight into the thick of the storm, dance in the rain. And I like to recall this proclamation by Trungpa Rinpoche, a great Dharma teacher. He said, chaos should be regarded as extremely good news. So let's practice.